earlier this year, we had the revelation that Mr. Beast's number 2, Kris Tyson, was, well, simply born in the wrong body after getting married and fathering a kid. But no, the entire time, just trapped in the wrong body, born the wrong way or whatever like that. It's always been like this, but, finally had the bravery to come forward, blah, 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 all that crap. Mr. Beast YouTube star Kris Tyson shows off transformation after starting hormone replacement therapy, should be a theory. Kris Tyson, YouTube star known for appearing alongside Mr. Beast, revealed they have started hormone replacement therapy on Wednesday. This is obviously from earlier in the year, just setting it up before we get into the new stuff that comes around. And the 26-year-old, whose Twitter profile states that they go by any pronouns, well, not anymore, shared last week that they began the treatments 2 months ago. According to the Cleveland Clinic, hormone replacement therapy helps gender non-conforming people mutilate their body. Informed consent, HRT, saved my and many others' lives. Temporarily, except for that pesky 42% that's really fucking it up for everybody else. The hurdles gender non-conforming people have to jump through just to get a life-saving. Oh, shut up. A gender-affirming healthcare in a first-world country is wild to me. No, things cost money, okay? I don't know how it works up here in Canada. All I know is that if this was just, regular healthcare stuff, if it's something that is taken care of by the universal healthcare system, if you want to transition, well, better put in your application now so that you can start the treatment by the time that you're about 40, because I'd imagine that the lineup's probably fairly long. But if it's, a good election campaign talking point for the Liberals, oh, don't worry, they'll just go ahead and we'll fast track all of those very important people. Reflecting on an old photo of themselves, Tyson noted on Thursday that their hairline and facial shape has already started to change. Yeah, I guess that's the picture that's right there. I guess, okay, you shaved your wispy little beard and mustache and soul patch gimmick that you had going, and okay, you got a receding hairline. Fantastic. What's the difference? Really doesn't much matter, man. But okay, cool. Like I said, that was what? April 10th, this came out earlier this year. Perfectly coincided with the other trans hysteria, which we'll talk about in the next video, because of course it's another day that ends in Y. Then we have, over the past couple of days, Kris is dead. Long live Kris. Mr. Beast YouTube star Kris with a K Taylor. Or Tyson, not Taylor. I don't know who the fuck Taylor is. Comes out as trans. No, I thought that already happened in April, but no, here we are, July 20. Okay, I guess it's written today. Mr. Beast's friend and longtime YouTube collaborator Kris Tyson has revealed a new name. Not really. Like, it's not even pronounced different. You just spell it with a different letter. Okay, whatever. It's like if I said that I have a new name. I'm coming out with a new name, guys. It's Dawn. Not Dawn. We're going by Dawn now, and I start spelling it D-A-W-N. Okay? It's like it's a distinction without a real difference. And pronouns, as she officially comes out as a trans woman, because trans women are real women. In an uplifting and wide-ranging interview with YouTuber Anthony Padilla on Friday, the 21st of July, Tyson opened up about the moment in which she first realized her gender was different to what was expected of her, and the trans joy inherent in living as her authentic self. Why is it always written like somebody describing their first hit of crystal meth? Oh, that first rush of joy that you felt was so fantastic. I've been trying to chase it ever since. Jesus. Tyson, who regularly starred alongside influential YouTuber and philanthropist Mr. Beast, whose real name is... don't besmirch him, okay? He's trying to run a business out here with a couple of head cases, all right? Jimmy Donaldson, in his viral videos, first spoke openly about her journey of discovering her authentic self. This is all just so fucking selfish and absolutely ridiculous. It's like, okay, if you were actually doing this as a life-saving event, something that you really needed in order to validate yourself, would you have to go out in public in order to make these grandiose acknowledgments? Or is it just this simply a big attention play? I don't know. You just have to wonder. In viral videos, first spoke openly about her journey discovering her authentic self, blah, 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 all that stuff. She received a wave of support and love from fans who praised Tyson for being a mainstream influencer that queer kids can look up to. Because, yeah, the Mr. Beast demographic, like, a lot of people watch a bunch of his viral videos because the dude knows the YouTube algorithm better than anybody else. Okay, there's a reason that he's the most subscribed to singular channel. I don't know if he's overtaken T-Series, but that was the big race. Like, that's a long time ago at this point in time. But no, the individual non-bot highest subscribed channel and probably the highest viewed, no asterisks channel. Like, their demographics, honestly, like, I'd imagine it probably heavily skews. I would say, honestly, 60 to 70% are probably under the age of 18 that watch the content. Probably 80 to 90% of the views are from under the age of 25. I would just imagine. Like, I'll tell you my demographics. Everybody's at least my age or a little bit older. Thank God I have nobody under the age of 18 watching my stuff, because I say fucking shit and all of the crazy shit, and we talk about weird fucking topics like this all the fucking time. So no, I don't want anybody under the age of 18 legally. Cannot consent. Don't watch this shit. Okay, this is not for you. Go, I don't know, watch a tranny give away $1 million to some homeless folks. I don't fucking know. Whatever YouTube wants you to go watch. Unsurprisingly, however, some trolls, oh, am I one of those? Couldn't handle Tyson simply being herself, leading Mr. Beast, the most subscribed individual user on YouTube, to clap back at the bigoted comments about his friend. Yeah, but what was discussed in this interview? Because now you're just running a whole bunch of obfuscation. Kris came out and that's super special and wonderful. You should believe that stunning and brave woman. Well, Mr. Beast's trans sidekick, Kris, that's very bigoted. You don't have the proper spelling there. My God. Kris Tyson claims his old self is dead after coming out in April. Like I said, this was a guy who was married, had a son. The lengths to which the modern guy will go in order to get out of a bad marriage are fucking insane. I'm just only partially joking. Don't know about the entire situation, but yeah, here we are. On Friday, Kris Tyson, known as a popular sidekick for Mr. Beast, all that shit, you know, okay. Speaking about hormones, Tyson had told her podcast host, Anthony Padilla, after 2 weeks, I just started having a mental clarity, and it felt like a fog that had been around me just went away, and I could see things clearly, and I could see things clearly. Would you have to repeat that phrase? Is that what you have to reaffirm to yourself every morning? Yes, this is the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I could feel confident about who I was. So yeah, instead of doing hard work, you just slink into a bottle and get your own substantive affirmations, one syringe at a time. Interesting stuff. I knew who I finally, surely, truly, without a shadow of a doubt, beyond a shadow of a doubt, sign of who I was, and it really saved my life. Tyson said as early as 2017, I started gaining weight. I got really depressed because I pretty much thought that there was no way I was going to be able to transition ever. I just, and I was just going to have to keep marching forward in a life I didn't want to live. And I was going to have to keep going until I couldn't do it anymore. Yeah, so the guys, obviously, if this is to be believed, which I don't really know how much you trust a woman, had all these thoughts, wanted to transition, but then at the same time thought, I should probably get married and have a kid. Yeah, if you want to fuck up your own life, that's fine. You can go ahead and do whatever you want. You're a consenting adult, but you drug a couple of other people into this scenario while you were having these thoughts and not properly working through those. Interesting. Tyson said he felt internalized transphobia and hatred towards himself. Yeah, okay, whatever. All that tells me is that Mike Pence, on the whole, is a pretty terrible candidate and a pretty terrible politician, but he might be right about one or two things. And he ran away. I pretended I didn't exist multiple times. I threw away every single pair of clothes I ever owned. I went to conversion therapy. Well, clearly they didn't have enough voltage. It wasn't until I started taking HRT that I was like, it's not a curse, it's a blessing. I can finally be myself. Tyson said at the age of 6, he went into his sister's room, grabbed stuff from the closet, went back to his room, locked the door, and watched an episode of Arthur that featured ballerinas. Ew. Okay, don't take this wrong, but growing up, I would also watch Arthur, and I would go into my sister's room, but at the same time, I would say, hey, Arthur's on, let's go watch Arthur. But he's also 7 years my junior, so was Arthur still on at the time? What the fuck? I just pretended to be a ballerina and danced around my room. Oh, can't relate. Sorry, pal. And from that moment on, I didn't know that, but I need to hide it because I don't remember exactly what made me want to hide it at such a young age, he said, adding that he grew up in a very religious area. So you wanted to dance, and then you just thought, yeah, I should probably chop my dick off? What the fuck, man? Maybe if you were going to take such great leaps, maybe you should have trained to be a ballerina. When asked if he feels like the old Kris is dead, Tyson said, dead and gone. Yo, rip ex-wife and rip kid. I just want to know if you have to pay like alimony and child support if that person is dead, because normally there's an out in the clause once somebody passes away. Like, what are we dealing with here if there's like a legal medical transition that goes on here? You find that loophole, or are we going to see a bunch of guys that have the prospect of being drugged through the family court system all of a sudden start turning out and Sam Smith miniskirts? I'm just wondering, man. Speaking in regards to Jimmy, the name of Mr. Beast, Tyson said, it was kind of weird to see people be like, oh, now Jimmy's put between a rock and a hard place, where he obviously doesn't want to support Chris, but the left would be so mad if he didn't. And I'm like, all these speculations, all these crazy things I told Jimmy like 7 years ago. Yeah, these just kind of sound like unfalsifiable situations. I don't really know. Tyson said one night he walked out dressed as a woman and bumped into Mr. Beast, and the two didn't speak about the subject. Next, he's like, oh my God, can you just fucking grow out of this shit already? Because that'd be great. As I said, around a year ago, he removed the guy portion from his Twitter bio and was paranoid that somebody would notice. Tell me you're insignificant without being insignificant, and this is the one way to try to break away from the Mr. Beast brand and still maintain some modicum of clout, and began to question whether Tyson was transgender. Wait a minute. They did this about a year ago, and then he started to question whether or not you were trans. See, your timelines are really lining up here. Just saying. March 28th, Tyson tweeted that he and his wife Katie had been separated for around a year. Tyson coming out in April, and they were married in 2018. Okay, yeah, so after he was thinking about ending it all or couldn't get access to trans treatment, though they were together prior to that and have a 3-year-old child. Yeah, exactly. Really kind of fucked up if you think about it too long. For a little over a year now, me and Katie had been separated. We are finalizing things as soon, and things take time. Well, we like to keep our personal lives private. Obviously, we like to keep our personal lives private. That's obviously what we're saying right here. Oh, which a lot of people don't understand because we share so much, and this is the only time I want to discuss it. Of course. But now, because you can make a bag off of it, I don't know, maybe you're genuine in your transition. Don't know. Don't really care. You have a family that you just blew up, even though you knew, well, you were planning to make sure that that burgeoning family wasn't the only thing that was going to be blowing up. You did that as a means to cope, allegedly. Now when it's more popular than ever to come out as being trans, now you're individually getting booked for podcasts and to tell your tale to a sympathetic audience. Very interesting timing on that. Just wondering though. A lot of questions, and hopefully it doesn't end the way that 80% of transition cases do, with a lifetime of regret. Hope this one's different though. Well, with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.